Welcome to our city's newest park, the Parks at 5M. Welcome to our city's newest hub of creativity, commerce, and community. Welcome everyone to 5M. This is an exciting day that has been more than a decade in the making, but it's just the start of great things to come for the people who live, work, and spend time here at 5M. When we broke ground, we were surrounded by 4 acres of mostly parking lots. Today, Brookfield Properties is proud to announce the completion of its development commitments. The first is the Parks at 5M. At about the size of 6 basketball courts, this is the city's largest ground-level, privately owned public open space. So many parts of this open space were informed by our neighbors and our partners. And it has been wonderful to see just the immediate reaction that we've had to this open space from the neighbors that have come in today. This stage directly connects to the Dempster building. Soon you'll see dancers like Push Dance, musicians, DJs, and other artists perform right here. Children of all ages will be able to play in our play area, which is right behind the Cameline building, and in our lawn areas as well. Dog owners used to walk their dogs here in the parking lot because there were so few places to go. Now, dogs can chase their tails in an area just for them. Our second component, which is right over here, is 415 Natoma. It is a 25-story office building designed by renowned architect KPF. 415 Natoma's public lobby, which is open right now, opens directly into the park and boasts over half an acre of terrace spaces and the above-ground floors. We are proud of its anticipated WELL Core and Shell certification, as well as its LEED Gold certification, as part of our commitment to wellness and sustainability. To my left, right here, is the George apartment building with 302 rental units, which is now leasing. It includes 91 middle-income units. The George is one part of 5M's housing program, which will generate 856 homes, 245 of which are affordable units, including housing specifically for seniors and formerly homeless individuals. Alongside the George, Mary Street is pedestrianized to include safe, traffic-free cafe zone for retailers. Finally, the two historic buildings were also renovated. The Cameline building that is earmarked for retail and nonprofit uses, and behind us, the Dempster building, which Brookfield Properties donated to the Community Arts Stabilization Trust for arts and cultural uses. New tenants, programming, and residents will bring energy to the site. Beginning this spring, community programming for the Parks at 5M will feature a mix of events, performances, art, and food curated by Brookfield Properties. Our longstanding community members will be at the forefront of this programming. Off the Grid will return to 5M with its popular weekday lunch markets. Cultivate Labs will host Undiscovered, a Filipino cultural festival here in June and October. And CAST will take its programming outside of the Dempster walls through that door and host a series of arts and cultural programming featuring its tenants and partners. We are incredibly proud to have worked closely with so many individuals and organizations to create this remarkable transformation. This project is a credit to our partners and collaborators. And as I've mentioned, it has been a tricky 2 years, and we are very, very proud of having been able to deliver this project without any delay through a pandemic, and it is truly a testament to the grit and tenacity and hard work of our team and our partners that we were able to do this so quickly. We are excited that Thumbtack, the modern home management platform, recently signed a lease for space at 415 Natoma. Residents are moving into the George. We have some residents right now. The Dempster building is now home to Push Dance Company and Women's Audio Mission, and soon we'll be able to announce more members of the 5M community involving restaurateurs, nonprofit organizations, and local retailers. Thank you to Mayor Breed, Supervisor Haney, CAST, our friends at United Playas, and our partners at the city for joining us to celebrate this milestone. I'd also like to thank Ann Topier, Eric Shaw, Judson True, and Philip Wong, former Supervisor Jane Kim, SiteLab Urban Studio, and especially Laura Cresamano for all of their work on the master plan, Cohn Peterson Fox Associates, and House and Robertson Architects for its remarkable designs of 415 Natoma, Melk and Cliff Lowe Associates, who designed our open space, Ankrum Moisen, who designed the George, as well as Bothman Construction, Swinnerton, and Build Group. And of course, I'd like to thank our exceptional team at Brookfield Properties, led by Jack Sylvan, and the great team of Christy Donnelly, Cutter McLeod, Dominic DiTullio, Peter Roy, Joe Natella, and Juslyn Manalo, and so many more of our current and former team members. A special thank you to Mayor Breed for your support of 5M, your leadership, and your relentless efforts to increase housing for all income levels in the city. We deeply appreciate your commitment to improving the lives of people at all ages, incomes, and backgrounds here in the city. Please welcome Mayor London Breed.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here to see the almost completion of this beautiful project, 5M, that has been going on for about, Jack told me, 14 years. And we just broke ground in 2019, and here we are just a few years later, and look at the magic that can be created as a result of us coming together to push projects like this in San Francisco. I can't even believe it. I was here for the topping off ceremony of the George. Not the George in Washington, D.C., the George in San Francisco. And when I think about what this project means to this community, the fact that we have this open space, this building that supports artists, and artists performing here, the community, the people, this project and what it will do for this community will be something that we can all be proud of. We've worked really hard to ensure that this neighborhood, the people who live here, and we're concerned about displacement as a result of projects like this, we worked hard to make sure that we implemented neighborhood preference. Now, when I was on the Board of Supervisors, we got neighborhood preference passed. It's been very challenging to implement because of other state and federal laws, but we got it done. And as a result of our work, 40% of the affordable units built in this project will go to people who live here first. And before neighborhood preference, that was not happening. And the community was asked to support projects like this. And they fought for projects like this. And now they're a part of projects like this. And I see Rudy walking through the crowd and United Players, like they coming to do something up here on the stage. Because it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. There were a lot of people who fought against this project. People, in some cases, who did not live in this community. And United Players and others fought to ensure that this happened. Office space, housing, open space. And none of us could have predicted that the pandemic would set us back in the way that it did, which is why it was so important that we fought to make sure that regardless of the pandemic, that we continue to build housing. The 1,200 people who helped to make this project possible, their jobs continued as a result of our work, and they got this project done. Just imagine if we didn't do that. Just imagine the number of people who would not have housing because we delayed it due to the pandemic. We knew that we could build housing safely, and that's exactly what we did. And now, as a result, instead of waiting 5 years, this project, after breaking ground in 2019, is done. What year is this? 2020? I keep forgetting because I don't count 2020 anymore. We're going to skip that year. But a few years later, it's done. And with the work that will happen in the Chronicle building for more housing, with the work that we're continuing to do and to revitalize this downtown corridor, what we are trying to do is make sure that it feels like a neighborhood. It feels like a neighborhood where there's a dog run, and there's parks and open space, and there's kids who can come out and play and feel safe, and there's families that can interact with our seniors. There's so much amazing things that are happening in San Francisco, and this project is really a testament to what happens when we work together with the private sector, with nonprofits, with the Board of Supervisors, with my office. Anything is possible. and my commitment to ensuring that we eliminate bureaucracy so that we can get more projects like this done faster is something that I will continue to push for, so that bureaucracies doesn't stop progress. Because the people's lives that are going to be changed as a result of this project are counting on us to improve how we do business in San Francisco. So I'm really happy and grateful to 5M for putting this together. Thank you to Brookfield and the Hertz Corporation for working with all of these various properties to come up with this creative project, to Cass, to United Players, to so many people in this community. And I know Rudy's going to work hard to make sure that our Filipino seniors get in this housing, because they said, Mayor, don't forget about us. So when we're done with that senior housing right down the street, we're going to make sure those applications are in for the folks who live here, so that they can continue to be a part of the fabric of what makes this neighborhood a great neighborhood. And last but not least, before I leave the stage, I mean, this is going to be a cool place to do Shakespeare and all kinds of performances. But before I leave, I want to take a moment to really recognize someone who has been in the news world for over 30 years. I remember watching him on KTVU when I was a kid. Today is Rob Roth's last day with KTVU. And we just want to express how much we appreciate you, your objective reporting, the stories, your commitment to San Francisco, sending your kids through the public school system, your love for the city, but also your ability to bring the news to us in a way that we would understand and sometimes be concerned, but more importantly, be excited and feeling good about San Francisco. So we appreciate your reporting. We wish you a wonderful retirement. Thank you so much, Rob, for your work in San Francisco. And with that, thank you all so much for being here. And I think I want to turn it back over to, Supervisor Haney. I'll introduce Supervisor Haney. So Supervisor Haney and I have been working around the clock, sometimes fighting with each other, but more importantly, making sure that when the time comes to do the important work, that we are aligned, that we work together, because we know that people are counting on us to deliver for them. So I really enjoyed working with him on this project, but a number of housing projects in his district where we're building so much housing, which includes a lot of affordable housing, that is really going to transform this neighborhood. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Supervisor for District 6, Matt Haney.
All right, it's on. Well, first of all, welcome everyone. This is a beautiful day to open what is an incredible, beautiful community space, housing, office space, a space for people to perform. And I want to thank Mayor Breed and her team. You know, she has been working so hard to get more housing built in our city. She has a piece of legislation that is called Cars to Casas, which is about what is possible when we turn areas that might be parking lots, like what we're standing on right now, into housing. And this area here, seeing what it has been transformed into, a beautiful open space for the Soma community, housing. This is what is possible when we work together and think creatively and listen to the community. And so thank you, Mayor Breed and Brookfield, for the way that you have done this project. Not only the outcomes itself, but the way that you've gone about it. We are here in the middle of the Filipino Cultural District, Soma Filipinas, the long time, for 100 years, the home of Filipinos here in our city. And to be able to sit here and say that the Filipino community at Mint Mall, United Players, were a part of this since the beginning and helped to shape it is a huge testament to what is possible in our city. Because contrary to what some people may say, San Franciscans want more housing. They want more housing. They just want to make sure it's housing that they can access. They want to make sure it's housing that includes community and open space. They want to make sure that when we build housing, we do it with them and for them. And that's what we've done here in this project. And so to Brookfield, to everyone who was a part of this, this is a very happy day for our city when we're building more housing. It's an even happier day when we're building more housing for our community. And for the South of Market neighborhood, you all deserve this. You all deserve to have more housing in your communities, but you also deserve to have community space. You deserve to have art. You deserve to have a place for young people to come and play, to come and grow, and to make sure that this is a place that they know they can live here and thrive here for many years to come. So thank you, Mayor Breed. And I don't see her here, but I want to thank my predecessor, Supervisor Jane Kim, for her leadership. She really stewarded this through the process. I get to be here and to be able to expound what it will mean for our future. But this was a tough fight, and it did require a lot of people coming together. And so thank you to everyone who was a part of that, to our city departments, to our community leaders. Rudy's here, to all of the architects, the funders, to the Hearst Corporation. Thank you. The future of this neighborhood will be bright, and this will be an important central part of what makes it so. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Haney, and thank you very much, Mayor London Breed. Good morning. I'm Juslyn Manalo, Community Engagement Manager for Brookfield Properties, and grew up right just a block away from 5M. 5M was created from a decade of partnerships with the community and the city, including organizations that truly make a difference in Soma. And those partnerships made this project possible. Those partnerships made 5M better. They are relationships steeped in the history of this neighborhood, especially the Filipino community. And because of community participation, we learned what was important to the neighborhood. It's why there's a playground right around the corner, adorned with screens inspired by Philippine textile patterns. It's why we supported Mint Mall Health and Wellness. It's why we provided support for the Filipino Cultural Heritage District, neighborhood incubators, senior housing, women's programs, and youth and arts and cultural programs. 5M's cultural and community DNA was created with organizations like United Players, Cultivate Labs, Mint Mall Resident Assembly, and CAST. And for those members of the Open Space Advisory Board, which was created to ensure that we rely on community input, thank you. We built a park that made sense for the neighborhood now and in the future. This is a special day. These relationships will continue to help us provide programming for the parks and ideas moving forward. Thank you to our partners for your passion, commitment, and perseverance, and your continued partnership. One of our great partners, CAST, the Community Arts Stabilization Trust, and you see the building right behind me. They are housed right there. Each day, they make it possible for more and more arts and artists, creative entrepreneurs, and arts and cultural organizations to continue to inspire us here in the city and Bay Area. Their stewardship of cultural and arts activities in the Dempster building right behind me is critical to the ethos of 5M and to the San Francisco art community. So please welcome CAST Executive Director Moy Ng.
I have to put on the sexy reading glasses. Thank you, Juslyn. As she said, and in her introduction, in her very kind introduction, I'm Moy Ng, the founding CEO of Community Arts Stabilization Trust, otherwise known as CAST. I want to thank the mayor the supervisor, Haney, Brookfield Properties, and the entire neighborhood for your support. CAST is a living laboratory that creates permanent, I said permanent, affordable space for artists, creative entrepreneurs, and arts and culture organizations in one of the most expensive regions to live and work in the US. We use financing and structural models to make and steward space to secure opportunities for the present and for the future generations. We believe, and I think as do you, arts and culture play a central role in preserving the fabric of a neighborhood. Arts and culture organizations such as Women's Audio Mission, WHAM, there's Terry right there, the founding CEO there, Push Dance, who you just saw, opening the ceremonies, have a new home at 447 Minna, right behind you in the Dempster building. They are so essential to our city because they are pushing the boundaries of creativity and equity while also creating community cohesion. At 447 Minna, CAST wants to ensure that artists have a place to grow within the community, to interact with residents, and to add to the neighborhood vitality as a whole. Now, you may be thinking, what additional new programs are happening? So let me give you a little preview. Among the prospective programs in development this year are a community mural for the building's exterior and a collective naming process that will invite local residents, you, community leaders, you again, and arts and culture stakeholders to choose a new name that captures the building's creative reinvention. Today is a symbol of hope, resilience, and generosity. In addition to the city and Brookfield, we want to thank SFSIF, Hewlett Foundation, Grants for the Arts, San Francisco Arts Commission, Start Small, Mobile Coin Foundation. It is a day and a project, this project, and 447 Minna's reinvention, that reinforces all of our collective commitment to the arts to bolster the creative and cultural soul of our neighborhood, this neighborhood, and the Bay Area. Thank you.
And now another community partner that we have, I'd like to introduce Rudy Corpus Jr., a longtime community leader for youth advocacy and has been a resident of SOMA, whose whole family has been here for decades. An organization that is rooted into ensuring safe places for youth and young children to shine.
Thank you, Juslyn. All right. We here, y'all. First off, I would like to say thank you to 5M, Brookfield, the Hearst family, Mayor London Breed. I love you, Mayor London Breed. You know what I mean? You from the city just like I'm from the city. I'm born and raised in this neighborhood. I actually live right down the block, so when they asked us to come, we walked here. And when we done, we gonna walk back. I'm here with my team because guess what? We belong here. This is our neighborhood. This is our community. Our motto is it takes the hood.